love the PlayStation 3. This silly little console that you gotta prop up sideways to make work with discs, to the whole, whoa's my internet, and then lots of games that don't like saturation. And of course, Japanese devs pumping out games on what they think appeal to the Western market. Men! And so they would try to mash up this concept of men, and also scantily clad blue ladies, and give their games unique gameplay gimmicks, like
say it.
Being ugly and carrying your wife so that both of you heal HP back in the shared HP pool. Yes, these two have a binding contract till death do them part, where to make sure she doesn't hurt her feet walking around, oh, you know he's gonna carry her through the fire and flames. And this was such a concept in 2011 that it angered everyone because there was a bad game. But was it? Really? Yes. But not that much. Because under all the jank and BS death, please, my wife, stop walking into the spinning blades of doom! There was surprisingly a lot of care put into this by a man trying so hard to not go bankrupt. Spoilers! They ruptured the bank. So gameplay in the game that you play, called Knight's Contract, by the way, where you play as Heinrich, a raw, hulking, rhino mass of a guy, for its action gameplay, you know, light attacks and heavy combo inputs, levels of small areas that are connected by hallways, and you fight loads of small enemies before boss battles. So you would think it's like Bayonetta, but in actuality, it's a Dark Souls. Wow, I'm just hitting you with all the keywords today, huh, Sophie? Your name, Sophie, right? I didn't mishear. Oh, Josie. Man, why do they keep showing up in those Archie comics? As every level has multiple pathways. You can open shortcuts to go back around. Most of it is done to find optional lore or bonus upgrades, which I guess is more unique than linear hallways following a set path. The gameplay feels as heavy as you do, slow, bulking hits. But then you also have Gretchen, your witch master, who will attack randomly but is giving you the powers to do special moves, like trapping enemies, launching them into the air, and these can get quite extensive, like flying enemies you have to knock down into the trap that you laid beforehand, but then enemies will get smart to this, they'll actively try to break your traps when you place them. And you can only do this while Gretchen is active, as then she will be targeted and grabbed. And oh god, please let me get up to save her. So yeah, you're immortal, but she isn't. And in this state, you have to mash buttons to get back up and free her before her health runs out. This isn't as bad as other escort games because you do have the unique mechanic, where I think only that Kirby game has done before, where you heal over time, the more you carry her. And you can't attack in this state, but it's oftentimes, when you're low, you pick her up and run around, letting both of you heal as there's no potions. This also helps out in the environments where there's traps and hazards and you just gotta carry your wife to get around the obstacles. Oh, it's no bother. Heinrich did not skip leg day. He skipped moisturizing day. It's like a basic action game. You only get one weapon. You get these special moves that you can upgrade with the souls you get from enemies to stronger variations. And enemies need certain attacks to defeat, like the flying ones you gotta somehow knock out of the sky since you can't jump. And oh yeah, you can also gotta grab where you can fling or pummel enemies. And yes, this game is gory as a slaughterhouse. It's like they did everything possible to make this appeal to what 2011 gamers wanted. Big jacked up guy, combo moves with a score system, gore, carrying a lady since they'll never get to do that in real life. Okay, no more gamer jokes. How about this instead?
You know, employment?
Knight's Contract was released in 2011 on the Xbox Revolution and PlayStation Sun as the final game for Game Republic, a studio founded by Yoshiki Okamoto, who was notable for Capcom games before, and this company had put out a lot of games that people would say are hidden gems. I mean, you probably have seen other people make videos on Folklore, and I wanted to, but then I see it has motion controls, meaning I can't emulate it, and the price of it secondhand is... that's like Patreon money to buy games, and I don't even have one. So I would like to go into more of their games at some point. Well, not all of them, as they made several contract work where they needed the money, but from Okamoto's own words, the companies and publishers they worked with were all going under, putting them into more debt. Lots of games became flops, debt piling around, and the more I learn about this guy, I am like, Like, they signed with the publisher Brash, who were big into trying to make movie games a reality, as they were founded by the guy who was the CEO of Legendary Pictures. So they got money for Clash of Titans, even a 300 sequel game, 301. Very original. But Okamoto would say it cost $2 million to run his company. Every month! He was bad at communication, in his own words, and publisher Brash then went bankrupt, which added debt to his company, as they couldn't release the movie game without Bandai Namco's help pushing it over the finish line, and then so he went to them and tried to make some new IPs that they could turn into big future franchises, that would be milked for years to come until they put into Fortnite and die a gamer death. Where first, you had Margin in the Forsaken Kingdom, and then Knight's Contract, but with the reception this game got,
Well, that's the end of me.
releasing as a full price game in 2011, 60 USD as opposed to current year full price games, and coming out to reviews where Joystick called it unfinished at best and lazy at worst. And I'm like, have you seen what lazy and unfinished games look like? Have you played Chaos Wars? You're telling me devs that were losing $2 million a month were making this level of scenery and this seems unfinished? That they were designing characters who would perfectly fit in 2010's the cosplay scene? Like, you cannot tell me that Jessica Nagiri wouldn't have cosplayed her? No? Just me? Why, oh why must I be cursed with this vast knowledge of cosplays that never seem useful in real life situations? Development on the game was stated to be based on the Legend of Faust.
それはかなりかっこいいものになっていると思います。あとボス戦
They really just flew them out to Germany for this video to not even get 1,000 views, which I'm not too familiar with, but it talks about deals with the devils, and don't read too much more into it because I can tell you they do not base it entirely on it because, oh boy! They wanted it to be about witch hunts, where people would accuse women of witchcraft in our real, yes, this did happen in our world, where they gave them horrid tests to see if they would survive, like putting weights on people and drowning them and going, okay, if you're a witch, you can use your powers to free yourself, and if so, you will come back here to be executed. If you're not a witch, you will die an honorable human death. And so based on that, this game was set around it, and the most interesting fact is that you, the Dorito Gamer, would play as the executioner of the witches, who has now been somehow given immortality as the Black Death spreads throughout Europe. This was written by the guy who wrote notable Megami Tensei games, and I'm like, wait, really? The story is like the most average thing about this game. It's okay, there are hints of something greater, but when you got the guy writing some of the best things for Atlas, and this is what he comes up with?
Creating a homunculus is time-consuming. His apprentice under him, Minu
They
Kelsis.
really love to over-explain everything, taking jobs away from those YouTube story explain guys. Oh, won't the economy ever recover? So I think there was a lot of hype for this game, where the previous games had some niche following, but then Bandai released this one on the exact day that Killzone and Bulletstorm were releasing. How many copies do you think Knight's Contract sold? Oh my god. Wait, how many is that? Oh my god! Like you have Blur Studios making the CGI trailer, where the characters do not look like how they ended up, and gamers in the comments going, give me a remake! Sure, great. Comment on the video of CGI studio that makes Sonic movies. They're totally gonna care about this. Those graphics are really good for that time. Xbox 360 really had some good games I missed out on. Bro, that's CGI!
It boggles the mind.
The weird guy at GameStop tried to aggressively foist this crap upon me last week, relentlessly, without end. So, okay, you just happen to know your GameStop employee? Do all Americans have this relationship with their retail workers? The minute the McDonald's girl knows my name, I meant to get off. He kept telling me in earnest, it's made by Bandai, as if that was some kind of incentive. I told him it was merely published by Bandai, to which he replied, exactly. I mean, for someone in 2011, congrats for knowing that Bandai on the box means they published it and didn't actually work on the game. It just seems like gamers of the Japanese game weeb persuasion were wanting more Japanese games on their $1,000 machine. And as such, they were finding it depressing when it was more Western than most of the other games. Yes, it has glaring issues and bugs abound, but I think they were wanting more of this game and thus left those death knell reviews. As despite Bandai putting it out to die, they did have a stellar voice cast where all these VAs are more well known now, but you had Nolan North once again voicing a character in a PlayStation 3 game.
Kelsis is the name, and
Subway!
is my game.
And so with such a flop, this was Game Republic's last chance. And then you had these rumors circulate. What would happen to the company? And one major one was that Okamoto had borrowed debt from the Yakuza and had to flee the country, with his blog shutting down. But in this interview 2 years later, he's like, that didn't happen. Yakuza? Get out of here! But more rumors propped up, and then he says that's just because he's a funny guy. People like to make rumors of him. Kind of wild, I'm reading all this and I don't even know this man existed until today. Like, he has stories where his boss fired him for making a shooter game instead of a driving game, and then he asked for a raise. And then other rumors this interviewer asked, okay, there was a rumor that you made a Tom and Jerry game in the final days of Game Republic, having a long distance relationship with your now ex-wife, getting caught on Capcom's premises receiving a BJ from a woman dressed as Street Fighter's Chun-Li, dressing in near blackface to interview famous for being tan game designer Toshihiro Nagoshi, and taking Western business partners to a topless bar. What do you mean it's all true?
Well, that explains it.
And in this 2013 interview, he's optimistic, working on a mobile game. And would you know it? It did really, really well. And then he was appointed as a game advisor to a crypto smartphone game. And now runs 3 YouTube channels where he says he will retire in 2027. He uploads pretty frequently. So with all that, Knight's Contract is not a cheap, lazy game. It did feel like it because they really did try with whatever financial woes they had to make something stick to give the new lease on life, as this is a game based on a fantasy with a world that you could have seen milked into more games. And gameplay, while not unique and having even some damning issues with the AI and cheap deaths, I can't think of many games that would have you carry your partner to heal back up, trying to protect them in combat, and designs that feel so unique. And have you seen all these witches designs? To monster designs that don't feel generic, to backgrounds being of good use of the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 with lighting and skyboxes. I think there is a lot more to this game, so let's find out. Oh yeah, here's a fun tidbit. One of the directors in 2011, he directed Knight's Contract, and then for 10 years he did nothing else. And then he comes back to direct Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. What a career. As starting it up, it's kind of amusing just to see how every game has an online component where you could go online to share your scores. As those hack and slash games, you get points and scores on kills, and I guess you could use this to see your ranking against others.
In a distant land long, long ago, there lived a group of wise women with extraordinarily long lifespans.
Man, that was some comedic transition. So these witches are getting blamed for bringing the Black Plague to Europe through the rats, where in actuality, the witches were helping people from the plague. It was the rats. It was always the goddamn rats. I knew you could never trust them. As we see Heinrich kill Gretchen here, and then get sucked in. Where sometime later we look like this, and it's such a cool design. I do like how they made him more of a slab than the early trailers, with scars showing how he's sort of a Frankenstein, in that he's immortal. The witch that he killed put a curse on him to make him immortal, and now he wanders around the infested Europe with his scythe. Damn, our guy sucks! Oh yeah, he's immortal! So this guy Minukelsis, wearing the whole doctor getup, wants to be saved. And you learn the basic hack and slash combat. You have a guide telling you the combos, and I'm not a fighting guy player, I just play them because the characters are hot. What? I know most of you do. So I tried the combos, the more advanced ones. I couldn't get them to work, so I resorted to the ones I knew. It's not the most in-depth gameplay system. You get graded on kills, but it always felt inconsistent. Like, you okay there, buddy? As we come across Gretchen fighting honestly, a killer design, you don't even need ribs to stay in your body.
Human life is made up of tiny life forces. Even after taking its final breath, these life forces remain within the body in abundance. You simply bind these life forces and control them. But when the
Amazing
body's
exposition,
life
Laura.
force is
Stay
exhausted,
winning,
your curse is
queen!
broken.
So Straggle is a witch sister who is using the life forces to control the dead humans to fight, while Gretchen's witch power can stop it. And so Gretchen asks for your help to defeat her sisters, and she will end our curse of immortality. And our guy is like, yippee, I can finally die! And straight away, you got more mechanics where you got a map, you got secret lore you can find, save points, and destructible environments. Yes, in 2011, this game had buildings that you could break in combat, and you could tell they were pretty proud of this technology as they have the camera show it off in the background when you walk around. And so with Gretchen, you can press L1, and if you're near her, you pick her up, and your health bar heals, as will go down if she takes hits, and it's game over if she dies. As you are immortal, but if you take enough damage, you go into the stunned down state where you can still attack, but you have to mash X to get back up. And then a further state where you get cut into two, and then you have to mash X so hard, as the enemy will then focus on Gretchen, and that usually means game over because I'm mashing so hard that my PS3 controller turned into an Xbox One? And now you got up to 4 skills with Gretchen, imbuing your scythe to use those moves as you hold R1 to lock on. Yes, holding on the lock on button, it doesn't even track enemies who dash around. Kind of bold decision I did then before, changing the controllers to have R1 to be lock on, and then you have to hold R2 at the same time to then use the witch's moves. But if you trap an enemy, you'll then get a small window to press circle to do a finisher. These are very important as they will insta-kill the small enemies. But oh man, when you're mashing the combos, you don't often know if this trap is going to do the finisher prompt or not. And sometimes the traps don't trigger the prompt. And then when it does happen, you're like surprised. Oh wait, I gotta press circle. Oh, whoops. So you scare Straggle off and thus abruptly ends the chapter as you get graded on points, and then you can choose from a chapter select. You can also view your extras like the pages you picked up, which is some slight lore or concept art, and apparently change your outfits? Oh, surely someone has done this so that I can see what kind of outfits you can unlock. What do you mean no one has uploaded any pictures of them on the entire internet? I ain't playing this on hard mode to unlock them. Why do this to me? So Gretchen says Straggle that, oh, you should be dead. And we are like, yeah, we chopped her head off. I agree. As someone is then reviving the witches, and now they're going against the witches' code and are harming humanity, wanting revenge against them. As Straggle turns into this monstrosity. Ooh, a secret! Yes, these appear infrequently, a small running away with wife segment, where the enemy chasing you will, and can, and will, insta-kill you. Thankfully, very thankfully, this game has autosaves, which are generous for a 2011 game. Let's just say despite emulating it, I wasn't panicking I didn't have manual emulation saves, since the PlayStation 3 one can't really do that yet, as anytime I died, it never set me so far back that I would rip my hair out and become a reviewer of movies. So you got the boss fight in the arena. It's fairly easy to just hit them, dodge the attacks till their big health bar goes down. And it goes down very quick since you're packing the protein shakes. And then you get a mandated QuickTime event, where I'm like, ooh, yeah, PS3 QuickTime event, oh, like Final Fantasy 13-2, my favorite game ever? Maybe. It has funny scenes if you fail the QTEs. I gotta fight again? Yep, you do not want to fail the QTE at all, because it makes you fight them again. They are too difficult, they got generous timing on them, but one mistake makes you refight the boss with a smaller health pool, as only Gretchen can kill her witch sisters, which will set their souls free.
Minu Kelsis,
Yes?
I quite like this body. Particularly the way it doesn't cry.
I feel like you almost had the emotion there with the writing. As yes, it has been 100 years since we beheaded Gretchen, and Minukelsis, whose master made a homunculus, this body for her that would fit in a 2000s gaming magazine selling you a mobile phone plan, to house Gretchen's soul as she wanted to come back to stop her sisters. The plan took so long that his master died, and then Minukelsis took on the role. As we flash back to that fateful day where Faust is implicating Gretchen, saying, damn, girl, you performed 782 spells? And it's not even Wednesday? but he was trying to do all this to get her.
It is the job of those with knowledge to encourage the ignorant townsfolk. Now then, why don't you hand over your shard of the Anima del Monde? Your comrades surrendered them quite easily.
Yes, that is Troy Baker wearing so much cloth. And so he wants these crazy jewels from the witches to make him immortal.
I have endured measureless torture, and still you try to kill me!
Silence, woman!
Has she truly endured her torture? Then she must be innocent.
You, a mere executioner, dare to defy a member of the committee for witch accusation?
God would never forgive me if I beheaded an innocent person.
What has come over you? Listen to what the Inquisitor says! Quickly, execute her! Do your job!
Yes, Heinrich is not a bad guy. He's just doing this for the paycheck of chopping heads. Man, witches' times were crazy. I mean, I never learnt about it. All I know is from that one Simpsons episode.
She's a witch! Get her! Any last words?
Should crimes committed in innocence be judged?
I mean, they still are crimes. So she's like, yeah, I'll release this immortality spell I put on you if you agree to help me. Take me to the Brocken by Walpurgis Night, which is based on the Faust lore, legend, and witches thing, and help me kill my sisters by then.
If that's what it takes, then I am at your service.
Wonderful. Now, Heinrich, I need you to kneel before me.
You want me to woof too?
I designate this man as my companion.
And so, bounded in blood, till death do them parts. See, it's like a marriage thing, okay? Mia Keltis is like, oh no, I can't go on. You two loverbirds are so cute together. You two go ahead. I'm so weak and scrawny. But you know who isn't weak and scrawny?
Vic. I knew before my execution that the other witches would return to life for revenge on humanity. So I had to come back as well. To stop them. From my cell, I sent a messenger pigeon to my apprentice, Paracelsus, ordering him to prepare me a vessel, or homunculus, for resurrection.
Jeez, they're just doing my job with the exposition here. I guess Game Republic really didn't think people who would play this could think for themselves, because they really just spill everything out of the story. As we got level 2, which is surprisingly a snow level, as the boss of the area is Trude.
Why are you with that man?
Of course, the sisters-in-law don't approve of our ceremony. So the enemies here are tree things, and now you can use your special moves where defeating enemies will fill up this bar, and if it's over halfway, you can use these two after holding L2 and go into berserk mode where time slows down and you do insane damage. Where the levels so far have you moving forward, then you go to this slightly more open area where you know enemies are just gonna spawn in. It's that type of game. Rinse and repeat, and then you got some cutscenes thrown in.
Trude would ever bring harm on others by spreading something like the Black Death. They were all kind and loving.
As we cross the bridge, Heinrich gets mad, cuts off access, but then...
But they won't be able to follow us anymore.
Hey! Hey, sir! Grandmaster!
What are you doing here?
You've got bad timing.
Well, here we go back over again.
You saved me. Yeah, you two are the best.
Well, sir, they sure do love them bloom on them PS3. As it gives us a new move and then runs off, where it's a hammer.
What is this?
As now you got levels which have falling off zones, where yes, you do remember that you have a grab. And the level just ends. Yeah, okay, maybe some parts of this game do feel unfinished. As now an avalanche, and somehow Gretchen is far away from you. So you now have this timer where you gotta fight all the way by yourself to get to her. And this is where I needed the map, because oh my god, the game becomes so windy with these multiple parts. As yes, often you can find hidden items, even secret moves on these pathways, but with how you're spinning around fighting so many times, I'm done a fight and then I'm like, Wait, did I enter or leave from there? Where now you find flying enemies where you need to use the hammer as you cannot hit them in the air. You're just too big. You cannot jump. Your swings don't reach. So you need to lock on and then use the hammer to bring them down. Yes, holding R1 and R2 at the same time.
Heinrich!
Did she fall off? So if you hold L1, it shows you where Gretchen is. Even the map does, but see, if you so much get away from her more than a few meters, she will yell at you, and the further you go, it's game over. Huh, this must be what marriage is like. Huh, I tell you, I get no respect at all, no respect. And you do want to be around her because I forgot to mention there are 2 other witches moves when you hold L2, which will only work if this bar is full as you get. Yes, there are things behind the sensor. They really were trying to appeal to the dude bros in this game. Like, you didn't need to show all that, did you? I mean, I'm not complaining. Or am I complaining?
I don't know.
I think it's more just the type of move she does where she will squish the enemies between her thighs, like you know what they were doing with this. And these are insane moves that will insta-kill most of the mini bosses. And so after that earlier death, I finally make it back to where I lost Gretchen. And I was so lost. I went down every path and found this secret item, which you can see it's in your inventory already equipped. Then the next area has a giant snake attacking you, and you chase after it before getting wrapped, and then it leaves its head out and okay. I think there's something buggy with this game and how it calculates damage, because as you will see later, but this is just a normal witch hammer move. I haven't powered it up, it's as basic as possible. Well... And then you find Trude, who is a snake monster hybrid. It really is crazy people haven't discovered these character designs. Or remember the loot Gretchen summons? If you think the hammer was broken against bosses in damage calculation, well... I love my witch wife. But don't forget, you gotta do the QTE correctly, which are always insanely over the top and creative. It kinda reminded me of Metal Gear Rising without the hype music. As we enter the next area, town, where you gotta fight the fire witch, who looks like she would belong on a death metal cover.
Quiet!
Tis but a scratch.
As now, yet again, you got new enemy designs with fire creatures, and here's where the Dark Souls comparisons I made become apparent. As you go winding around, you'll often find a cutscene that will open a hatch that connects you back around. I'm assuming it's so after you get the special secret items, you can then go back and save at a save point. And we get another witch move that showcases Gretchen's vast knowledge and superior it's a butt, she sits on the enemy. So yes, you got lava everywhere where you move slowly through it, and Gretchen kinda dies in it, so you gotta carry her safely to make sure her AI doesn't walk in there.
What were those? They're different from the ones we've seen before.
Homunculi are humans created through alchemy. Those seem to have been failed attempts, though.
Homunculi. So their body is like yours.
So it seems like Faust is creating all these things to fight you, as we find...
Hello?
God damn it, Nolan, not again! Well, we gotta time it, save him. Yeah, honestly, this game would have felt a lot better on the AI party criticism, because you're right, gamers, it's not the best. But if she does move around to attack on her own, you should have been at least given the chance to have commands to, stay, defend, attack, or something. Have some control over where she goes, because she will just careen into the lava on her own will. So we save him as he was just trying to save the humans.
Forgive me, lady.
You've got a lot of nerve. But you've got a lot of heart.
As he leaves yet again, is he going to be in trouble in the next chapter and we'll have to save him? You know it. And he gave us this lance move, which is the only other move that we can use against flying enemies. Pretty much insta-killing them if you can hit it. If you lock on before throwing it, it will hit. The moves regenerate fairly quickly, and attacking helps speed up this process, so you do get to use them a lot in fights. So we make it to the castle to fight Holder and defeat the minions as the floor collapses and you fall through. Luckily, no full damage.
Heinrich!
Don't scare me like that! So you make it to the top and fight her on a horse, which is a lot of, hey, get down from there, my legs are too chunky, I can't reach you. Then the second phase, where this can happen. So after that, you finally meet Faust.
Gretchen, I've been waiting a long time for your return. So good to see you.
He's actually not the worst villain I've seen. Really well voice acted, cool design, but his goal is pretty simple. He just wants to be immortal.
The Anima del Monde. I don't have time for this cryptic speech.
Please, Gretchen, me brain no being to think the thingy. So Faust resurrected the witches to get them to lure Gretchen out to get her final piece of the Anima del Monde. And his crony summons these sacks that summon homunculi as we squish them, letting us fight Faust, who moves so quick. But you know. And we scare him off as Gretchen says, yeah, I'm not gonna give him my shard.
Thanks to the premonition of one of my sisters, I was able to protect my shard. But Faust now holds all the other witches' shards. At my execution, you tried to save me. So I gave you immortality to give you time to think back on what you had done.
Wait. So this guy would have killed witches unknowingly. Like, you know, he just clocks in at the factory, does his job, swing the axe, that's it, clock in, clock out. Oh, you know, boss man, I don't think we should kill this one. She doesn't seem like a witch. Yet she was. Oh, what's that? You're gonna fire me if I don't swing the sword? Oh, okay. And then go home and die of old age. But Gretchen was like, yeah, thanks to you hesitating, I want to repay your kindness by making you live forever so that you can think about what you did. He did his job, and his boss yelled at him to do so? You didn't let him die because you wanted him to think about what he did. Look, Gretchen, I know you just wanted him to help you fight your sisters, but you really just love big slab of men. Just say that then. Okay, I know I'm being nitpicky, but when you have a writer with these esteemed credits, this kind of feels like, maybe another draft, you know? And he even goes, yeah, after 100 years of being alive, I can't even atone for my sins. Just let me die, please. It's not a bad thing because their motivations end up being, you know, good. She just got him to help her out and he has a reason to help her. It's just funny, like, yes, Heinrich, I'm never letting you die so you can sit in the corner and think about what you almost didn't do. As we reach the next witch, Rapunzel.
Is this hair?
They really are using the PS3 to its fullest horsepower. Air power?
Rapunzel is the only one of my companions who survived. I'm not surprised you don't know her. She wasn't executed.
Yes. You were the last one I killed. But I did hear a witch by that name took her life in her cell.
What?
I heard the rumor in a tavern some time after I'd become one of the hunted. I believe the rumor was that she hanged herself by her own hair the day you were executed.
That can't be. The plan was that she would be the sole survivor. All that time we spent freeing her from her chains.
Hey, wait!
I need to find out what happened.
Also, I do love this little touch where, I don't know, for whatever reason, Heinrich has a limb. It's incredibly noticeable in every cutscene, but they never explain it. I love how it adds to the hulking frame, like, yeah, he's so big and swole, he can't even walk right. So these flying enemies are the worst variations with electricity because they will start dodging around your hammer attacks, and if you somehow hit them, they will almost instantly get back up and start flying again. The only sure way to defeat them reliably was to throw the javelin.
Nice run!
And so the place has loads of hair and these armor guys where you got to attack them a bunch to break their armor down. It is cool to see how many design forms they have, but very annoying because they all have this shield and you can barely do any damage to it. You can't even start any combos up. So you got to then mix it up with these witches' traps, setting it around, hoping you can slowly break their shield.
Rapunzel can tell the future with her hair.
Oh, okay. So her premonition said that humans would execute witches, and then the witches would want revenge, and so then Gretchen could make her homunculus body in preparation for all this, but then she's wondering why Rapunzel chose death instead of just hiding away forever. Wow! Dynamic light sources! Oh, these devs for sure are lazy, am I right? So spiders everywhere, even you guessed it, attacking mini Kelses.
And what do you have to say for yourself?
Actually, I brought this for you, Grandmaster.
Thank you, Minu Kelsis.
Really? Where on earth do you keep finding these things?
Bro's gonna end up in a saw trap next. So now more padding, where you gotta find a power source to open this and go all the way around the castle, opening all these secret areas, finding hidden moves, and the actual place was just here. Like, seriously, I need like a marker on where to go? Thankfully, incredibly, like a Souls game, the enemies stay dead when defeated. You never have to worry of refighting ones when running around. Also, another thing I noticed, you'll use the souls to power up your moves, which do change how they work a little, like the hammer when it's upgraded lets more hammers spawn, which has a better chance of hitting those flying enemies. But I found at this point against many enemies, you kind of want the lower tier moves since they'll actually regenerate way quicker. Like you can use them more often against the many foes, so you'd rather have the lower damage.
Heinrich!
I'm right here, please don't freak out!
Killed our companions, and now you'll pay.
Trendula?
Trendula? She's gained some weight since I last saw her.
Buddy, you killed her! Do you really think you should be joking about that right now? This guy, I swear to God. So Trendula is the Storm Witch, and even though she's big, my wife is bigger. And now you gotta go up, dodging her attacks through the walls. In reality, as now after all this time, I finally got that thing where I got sliced in two. And you're gonna see how long it takes for me mashing X to fix myself up. And so on the top, you got the boss battle, where Trendula moves around, you gotta wait for her arms to appear to hit them. Well, if I get the chance.
Heinrich!
Also got this witch move, which was one of the best attacks that does heaps of damage if I could land it. And the gameplay sort of becomes against these bosses, well, I don't have any healing potions, so when I get hit, I'm just gonna hide in the corner holding my wife. As a lot of this footage, you're just gonna see me huddling in a corner healing. And once defeated, we find Rapunzel.
Rapunzel, what are you doing?
The future is ever changing.
I don't understand.
The future that I saw has changed.
What are you saying?
History has already been broken.
So I guess the future she saw was bad, so then she had to die?
It seems those rumors were true.
Rapunzel.
My, what big hands you have! And now you fight her in spider hair form, where she will grab you, and you gotta button mash for Gretchen to free you. These fights at least have some unique gimmick to them, they're not all just copy-pasted. So Rapunzel did all this to take Gretchen's place when Faust came knocking for the crystal. And it feels as though if maybe the dialogue was written smarter and the music more emotional, I really do think these scenes could have hit so hard.
Trendula and Rapunzel have been defeated.
So it seems. For Durende, you're the only one left now.
So now to the final witch, and oh my god, forget everything nice I said about this game. It can probably be thrown out here, in the worst section, where you're at the final boss place. But Verdurende comes in going, and locks you in a realm, Jujutsu Kaisen style. And so you three got to escape. Minokelsis actually will get a weapon here that his master had that can attack the creatures, and you three got to find 2 crystals to break down the realm, which means splitting up the party. I despise this so much in games. When they want to nerf the player, they just take out party members.
Verdurende's dimension is a mirror that
Me, when I hear Laura Bailey say mirror. Thankfully, they do make it unique where Minokelsis is under your control now, and he's kinda nutty. has a bomb, which is horrible, but then the spam attack, which is so great at breaking the enemy's armor. This frozen bomb, which means if it hits, you can then one-shot the enemy, and then he has the Birmingham special, a one-hit kill stab. And, like, it was actually kind of fun using him. I would just stand back and watch the little guy let out his bloodlust. He does take damage in the health bar like Gretchen, and you can press L1 to heal him up too. But then it becomes you open these portals and you'll revisit the exact same maps, now flipped across and washed out, chasing after this orb. It makes no sense. And then you got these areas that are locked and you'll need to go backtrack and find these keys. I got so lost and it never ended. And then it would just swap over to Gretchen, who was doing the exact same thing, but alone, single, and not ready to mingle, as now you have no knight and you got the slowest attack combos. And only some of the witch's moves you can use, like you can't throw the javelin now because you don't have the knight. Oh, okay, rip me attacking the flying enemies. I then upgraded all my moves and hoped for the best. I mean, it was cool they're adding 2 new gameplay styles to this game at the very end, but I guess it would have been more enjoyable maybe if you could have at least fought with Gretchen early in the game. It just feels like they really are finding an excuse to pad this game out, but they didn't shoehorn it in because they gave her a unique moveset that you only use in this level, and the Minikelsis thing controlling him is completely different to how you were playing before. As we cut back to those two who fight this Golden Knight who can...
Get out of here, Minikelsis!
insta-kill you. So I think, okay, I cannot fight him here, I'm gonna die. So then I try to run like it's intended, but then he chases and insta-kills me. So what am I meant to do? I even then got chopped and I'm thinking, oh boy, another reset. No way I can mash X in time to save the little guy. But you can actually use Minikelsis' moves while you're mashing X. And so... Hey buddy, can we adopt you into our family? You're so good! And then on Gretchen's end, you also fight the Golden Knight. And this is how bad the game's direction can get. You see this orb, it goes through here. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, maybe some vines are gonna appear so I can climb to follow it. Some doorway. I then watch someone else's playthrough, and you gotta go all the way around the back the way you came, and then you climb up from this side, and then you're meant to corner the ball here? Was that told to me? But then a light shone in this tunnel of pits and despair, and it was pits that do damage, where using triangle with Gretchen, you can launch enemies off the edge. And so, the game became fun again. But then in maps where there'd be no ledge to push Mufasa off, I had to resort to stupid tactics where I'm slowly chipping away. I'm praying this random lightning strike's gonna hit the enemy because they do damage them and just slowly take them out. Where those upgraded abilities really do help, as that red one becomes this big tree that will grab all the enemies. And yet again, I was lost. I got spun around. I have no idea which way I came from, where I went. It's all gray. And you know where it was? Here. Yes, these gray vines appeared on this gray wall. I mean, some splash of yellow paint would have been nice. Well, back to these chuckle bozos. And getting lost in the gray and yellow, you fight a Shadow Gretchen who has all her powers. But it wasn't too bad since you barely take any damage from her attacks, because remember, she's kind of weak with the combos. And you're having 2 people attack her. And Minikelsis has his trusty special. Well, Gretchen then has to fight waves of these armor guys, and if you die, it resets my abilities. Like, I have to go in and re-equip the stronger ones again for no random reason. And then after all that, slowly pushing them off the edge, you then fight this Golden Knight again, who if he's charging up, he's gonna rush you, and... Yep, you gotta redo this all again, all the waves. Thankfully, you can just move past the enemies, so it's still pretty fun. I love knocking enemies off maps and then you're not having to fight them. The gold one, you cannot. He's immovable. And so somehow I got him to this spam lock where I'm just trying every combo, and 20 minutes later, whittling him down. I did it.
I'd like to get this over with.
So you reach the fire tower again, where it goes up and you fight these enemies. Amusingly, those electric bozos try their attack and it doesn't connect with the floor we're on. It just goes straight to the bottom of the tower. The coding for this game feels to be at shoestrings at times. Are you serious? Okay, that's how it's gonna be, huh? as you fight Shadow Heinrich. And this entire time, I thought since my moves were restricted, you know, I couldn't use all the witch's moves. I didn't know that Gretchen still had her naked attacks, which is a weird thing because to heal with her, you have to use the white bar and hold L1 and it will use it to heal because you got no more holding a big man. And you'll get more of these souls by defeating enemies, but this move, you know, also uses that white bar. So then it became a choice. Do I keep healing during fights? Or do I use it on a big super attack that may not kill the enemy? You know? By sitting on them. So I chose the healing and then had to do this for 10 minutes straight. And finally, you both destroy the crystals and you can leave this realm, but you have to fight Verderende. And I think this was my emulator, so I'm not blaming the PS3, but I cannot show this. Okay, maybe a peek. So I think the water was bugging out and I had to then hide in this corner, and even then in the QTE it still was there. My eyes were searing. I cannot show you any of this gameplay because it's gonna be another Porygon incident. As eventually, we lock her away in many witches' tombs, killing her and escape.
The sword won't help get us out of this. Please, go now.
Come on, Gretchen, at least show some worry. And so it turns out the sword he was using was actually draining his life force. And so Minikelsis, the best little Birmingham stabber, dies. As now we can finally go up that mountain to the final boss. Hey, don't eat her! As you make it to the final dungeon, and don't think you're done the BS yet, as that bellboy old man traps us, and now you got so many winding pathways where you gotta find these stones to then put them back on these pedestals at the start to connect a pathway through the center.
Like some incredible dream.
And seeing your wife naked isn't a dream for you or this guy, oh my god. And so you gotta carry her through these spinning blades of narrow pathways, fighting so many enemies, where I went up here. And Gretchen followed me as usual. And then I was like, oh wait, the map says I'm the wrong way, okay, I'll go the other way. But then Gretchen didn't follow me the other way. She kept going straight herself. This never has happened before. She should be following me, the AI. So then I tried to follow, see what she's doing, and see that she's got trapped. And then I get impaled and I have to mash X to free her. Yeah, oh man, the computer's AI really does suck at times. And then you got these rock guys who, when they grab her, don't even flinch at your attacks. Oh my god, okay. Gretchen, please stay still. Stay in the corner. I'm mashing X. Don't you move to the spikes path. Wait, no! As 1 hour later, we make it out.
You should have just died quietly.
Oh, I did try. The boss was very easy though. He doesn't move and you can just heal in the corner and move on. As now, we got the final boss. So, spoilers, I guess. Where you find Faust, who wants your shard, and he said he used a spell to manipulate the witches he revived, which is why they were all like, revenge! When usually they weren't like this back when they were alive. They actually cared about humans. He brainwashed them. As now we fight Faust, where he moves so quick, dodging any combos you do, not letting you build up any momentum on him. He then does this spinning golden move which slices you in two, and there is no way at all you're gonna mash X quick enough to save Gretchen. And I don't know what I did. I then somehow broke him? Oh, I'll take what I can get after those last 2 chapters. So Faust is like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna use the Chaos Emeralds and become this thing, where it honestly was a very fun fight. Where I worked out you gotta attack his legs for then him to fall over and you can jump up and attack him. He will then guard one side of his legs, he'll add some jumping attacks and another full phase with health again. Honestly, a really fun fight mechanically, and there was no real BS attacks from his side. As you win and gloat, but then turns out Verderende survived and was truly evil. She wasn't under his spell, she really wants humanity dead, and she's gonna use the stones to kill everyone in revenge and reset the world.
I pretended to be manipulated by Faust, and I pretended that you had killed me, and it was all worth it. And now, thanks to you, the Anima del Monde.
They really love saying everything so the audience isn't lost at all. I mean, it's nice, you're not confused, but, you know, you could have let us ponder on some things at least. So she fuses with the crystals, becoming, oh no, not a flying enemy. Well, I try the naked attack. Oh, of course, she's your sister. Why would that even work? And to show you what I mentioned earlier, how broken the random damage value is yet again, she is at full health. I do one swing, and then it never does that much ever again. So yeah, she got these shields that will stop her from getting whacked from below. So you need to do certain spells and pray you do enough damage to knock her off. And then second phase, she summons this meteor where you have a timer to defeat her. I'm trying. And so after 10 minutes of struggling, I looked up guides, and turns out, I should be used to this by now with my videos and how I deal with final bosses. You know those items I said when you pick them up, they get automatically equipped? They weren't equipped. That was just me holding them in my inventory. You gotta press X to equip up to 2 items. I was accidentally doing the whole game without any items equipped. And some are very good. More health, quicker regen on the witch's attacks, even more damage on the witch attacks. And then I equip them and hold L2 into that slow-mo beast form. And literally, first try when this happened, and I was so shocked it worked, I stuffed up the QTE. So I had to fight her again. Oh, am I a real person? I swear to God. And so we win, where I think the game just felt sorry for me. I literally don't even know what happened here. This move shouldn't do that much. And us and our big-handed wife win and save the world.
I've lost.
So the story ends as this was a fairy tale being told to Johann. Okay. And then it cuts to live action footage of a city as we see Gretchen in her stunning glory in a modern outfit with us.
I think it suits you surprisingly well.
Let's go, husband outfit.
I'm not sure about that.
As I guess we are immortal and stayed alive forever, watching humanity grow and develop into technology into our current time. So I think we changed our mind about dying and we're like, oh, okay, we'll just be with our Gretchen wife fighting whatever happens in game 2. So when I say this game is misunderstood, I kind of mean it, because if you see the amount of hate this game got when the reviews were going,
I couldn't believe, I didn't understand.
Calling it lazy, rushed, no effort, the end of a company that had made good games before. Oh, they took the money and ran from the Yakuza. And it's like, have you seen what actual lazy rushed games are that are 4 out of 10s? Would you have this level of voice acting, this level of monster design, world, background, art, and characters, where there is some unique mechanic to this game that I don't see other games doing? Oh, I am not calling this an underrated hidden gem cinematic masterpiece of a game. Oh, far from it. You have seen how absurdly broken it can be, from the busted AI running off to die, from the flaws not even existing, to making you fight enemies that you clearly don't have the movesets to counter them, and the story just being so average with some plot holes, but it is not deserving of a 49 on Metacritic. This feels like a game that gets at least 6 out of 10s. There is some heart to this. Characters are wanting to do good against evil, believe in humanity, fighting all kinds of witches with different designs and unique map gimmicks. The game is playable. There is fun to be had in the combat. The boss designs are all unique fights. It didn't feel like they shoehorned anything in. This was meant to be a game for Game Republic that would help save the company and hopefully more sequels, and I could see that. They wanted to build upon this, maybe adding some guides and telling you where to go. Some more vagueness in the story, a grander scope instead of just the guy wanting to be immortal. Or more characters than just you 3 being the only 3 people in the entire game that are on the side of good. You don't meet anyone else in the entire game who wants to help you. They could even just add another weapon because all you're doing is the scythe. There is so much they could have expanded upon this after that ending especially, but it wasn't given that chance. And the funniest thing is, if this game released now in modern day, after 6 months, they would have been given the chance to patch this game, all the glitches and all the things people wanted into the game, and you would have had videos going, oh, is Knight's contract actually good now? But because it was released in 2011, games like this were never given the chance. Sure, yes, they setting it as full price and they made it compete against other big PlayStation games. There was no chance for this succeeding back then. Even The name of the game, I don't know, something about the logo, it just doesn't feel right in this big, grand, epic scope of a game. They're trying to do this fantasy setting, the title, the logo, and the combat. Many games have come and gone with way better hack and slash combat, but also many have done it worse. It is unique, the healing situation, but you have unique enemies with armor. They react to your traps. They have many movesets. They can be pushed off the edge. You can throw them into each other. The worlds can be destroyed in some levels. You have some interconnected pathways, secrets to unlock. If you beat this game on higher difficulties, you unlock outfits for the characters. There is a lot more here than I think, given my memory of games in 2011 on the PS3 and Xbox 360, what other games were like at the time, that I don't think this is one of the worst games created, nor is it the best. I just think it got hated for the wrong reason, and maybe it should have been given another chance. I mean, there are plenty of people who enjoy janky games. I mean, you know, Nier was also this niche Japanese PS3 game, and it was janky as well, but it found its fan base. I'm not saying these two are anywhere near comparison. The story, Nier clears this by any margin, but when you see licensed slop games that were coming out at the time, they deserve the low reviews because they were quick cash grabs. This was instead trying to save the studio, where so many people put a lot of effort to make something unique. But we're probably never gonna see that, and now that I beat the game, I'm once again left with that feeling of, another niche game I played for this channel where I like it, and then I check online. Oh, okay. Barely anyone's talking about it now, you know? Like, seriously, if people knew about these designs, easy couple cosplay idea at cons in the 2010s. So yes, I feel Knight's Contract is a very misunderstood game where a core mechanic was just you carrying your partner because she said her feet hurt. Whatever you say, ma'am. And that's it from me. Sorry for the delay with videos. I've been getting into a rhythm of balancing what works on this channel and what I have in store for the rest of the year. I'm super excited for a lot of Japanese games to talk about. So if you enjoyed this kind of video, I would appreciate subbing to the channel. I do love seeing the number go up. My social media is linked in the description. And until then, I shall see you all on the next video.